Solve the system of equations by substitution. When you use this method, basically what you want to do is you want to solve for one variable. In this case, they did the work for you. So they solve for y. And usually what you do is you're going to do the substitution into the second equation. And as you can see on this one, y equals 6x minus 11. And we're going to replace that into the second equation. So let me start by doing the substitution. So let me just bring down negative 2x, then negative 3 times y. I'm replacing the value for y, okay? But then let me keep rewriting all of that equals to negative 7. What I'm gonna do now is replace this value of y, which is gonna be 6x minus 11. The next step, this is the distributive property, so negative 3 is gonna multiply all of this. So for now, let me just bring down negative 2x, and now I'm gonna start multiplying. So negative 3 times 6, you get negative 18x. Negative 3 times negative 11, negative times a negative turns into positive 33, and bring down the equal to negative 7. Next step, we're gonna combine like terms. So can you see that both of them are negative? So nothing cancels. So we're just gonna add it up and keep the sign. That's how you get negative 20x. Bring down the plus 33, and all of that equals to negative 7. Solving for x, it means that I have to get rid of this 33 by doing the opposite. I'm gonna be subtracting 33 and do the same thing on the other side. Now, adding positive and negative 33, this is gonna cancel, it's gonna be 0. So that's how you're gonna end up with negative 20x, and all of that equals, can you see that both numbers are negative? So nothing cancels, so just add it up and keep the sign. Whenever two numbers have the same sign, just add it up and keep the sign, okay? So that's how you're gonna get negative 40. Now the last step, solving for x, I need to get rid of this negative 20. Negative 20 is multiplying x. To get rid of it, I'm gonna be dividing by negative 20. Divide by negative 20, and then negative divided by a negative turns into positive 1. 1 times x, you're gonna get x equals, and negative 40 divided by negative 20, the answer should be positive 2. Now that I have this answer, I'm gonna do the substitution into this equation. I already have y equals to 6 times x minus 11. I need to find also the value of y. So when I do the substitution, I'm gonna write 6 times the value of x and then minus 11. The value of x that we're gonna use is gonna be our answer, which is 2. And then multiply 6 times 2, that'll be 12 minus 11. So that's how you're gonna get 1. And the answer is gonna be always a point. You must remember, you must write it as a point. So we have 2 and 1 will be the answer. Okay, so this is our answer. Now, let me do another example. I know sometimes we need to do more than one example for you to be able to understand the concept. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move on to another one. Okay, so this is another one. By the way, not all the time it's gonna be as easy as just do the substitution. Sometimes we gotta do more work. Like on this case, this is what we have. You can see the variable y is not by itself anymore. So we gotta do some extra work. So I'm gonna solve for y, and this is the easiest of these two equations. This is the easiest variable that I can solve for. If if I solve for x, I'm gonna end up dividing by 5, so I'm gonna end up with a fraction. Same thing happens with all of this. So instead, I'm gonna use this one because this y doesn't have a number next to it. So I'm not gonna end up with fractions, and I don't think I wanna work with fractions, at least not when you're learning, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna start by solving for y. So let me rewrite. This will be 5 times x plus y. All of that should be equal to -3. Solving for y. So that means I have to get rid of this negative 5x. To get rid of it, I'm gonna do the opposite, right? So adding 5x, adding 5x. So I'm doing the opposite of subtracting, which is adding, right? Now, of course, these two will cancel. You're gonna get 0. And that's how you're gonna end up with y equals. And on the other side, we're gonna be writing 5x minus 3. So now that we solve for y, we're gonna do the substitution into the second equation, which is this one, right? So now, let me go ahead and start by doing the substitution. So I'm gonna write 3 times x minus 8 times y, and all of that should be equal to 24. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start by doing the substitution, and I'm gonna replace y by 5x minus 3. So let me write it, 5x minus 3. Now this is the distributive property. Okay, so that means that 8 is gonna multiply 5, and 8 is gonna multiply -3. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just bring down 3x, and now I'm gonna start multiplying. 8 times -8 times 5, you get -40x. 8 times 3, both of them are negative, so you're gonna get positive 24. And all of that should be equal to 24. Okay. Now combining like terms. That means I'm gonna combine these two. They have different sign. Subtract. So that is gonna give you negative 37x. Bring down the plus 24, all of that equals to 24. The next step, I want to isolate x. So I have to get rid of this -37, and I have to get rid of this 24. So I have to start by getting rid of this 24, and I'm gonna do the opposite, right? So to get rid of it, I'm gonna be subtracting 24, and whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you do it to the other side, subtracting 24. Now, adding positive and negative 24, this is gonna be 0. So it cancels. So I'm gonna end up with negative 3x. All of that equals, on the other side, one more time, can you see that they have different sign? Subtract. On this case, we're gonna get 0. So we have to write it because this is the answer that we get. Okay. And this is 37, negative 37. Okay. Negative 37. And now the last step. Uh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide by negative 37 to isolate x. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you do it to the other side. Now adding positive and well, dividing. So negative 37 divided by negative 37, that is gonna be 1. 1 times x, you're gonna get x equals, and 0 divided by negative 37, you're gonna get 0. Okay, so now we need to get also the value of x. We got x equals to 0, And what I'm gonna do now, I need to replace this value into this other equation. And that way we can get the value of y. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by replacing the value. So I'm gonna write y equals 5 times the value of y. That is our answer. Our answer is gonna be 0. And now multiplied 5 times 0 is gonna be 0. So it's gonna cancel. So that's how you get y equals to -3. Okay. So out of this, you're gonna get 1 point. The point is gonna be 0, -3. Okay, that's our answer. That's it.